Okay. So good evening. We are honored to have with us tonight Chris Van Winkle, AB3WG, to give us an update on ARRL, otherwise known as the Amateur Radio Relay League. As you know, ARRL is our lobbying arm before Congress and the FCC, so it is very important for us to keep up with its latest initiatives and activities. Chris is ARRL's Maryland and DC section manager and its affiliated club coordinator. He has been very supportive of us and other local clubs, and we are very grateful for his time and his energy, assisting us with advice and encouragement. So thanks so much for joining us tonight, Chris. And now it is over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex. It's a pleasure to be back here with the club. And it's a pleasure to be speaking about the league, something I'm very passionate about. So I would like to share my screen if I may. And see if I can. Okay, how are we looking?
Great.
I'm gonna blow this up. Everybody see that okay? Is that coming through okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so tonight what I'd like to do is just kind of give an overview of the ARRL and some membership information, how the league is structured in terms of how they interface with hams at the local and regional levels. And then we'll talk a little bit about some interesting activities and things that they have coming up in the near future. And then we'll close out with a little membership thing. So the best way to find out about the ARRL is to go to their website, which obviously I have up here. This is arrl.org. And when you go to the website, you're presented with all kinds of information here. And I want to make mention of the fact that if you look up here on the top, can you guys see my pointer, my cursor?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. You'll notice that I'm not logged in. And I want to do it this way because if you're a member of the league, you have a login and a password to this website. But if you're not a member, I want everyone to know that you can still get all kinds of information from this website. So that's the way I'm going to go through the presentation here until the very end. Then I'm going to log in. All right, so what I want to do is just click over here on these tabs across the top here, the one that says About ARRL, we'll click on that. And so the ARRL is the National Association for Amateur Radio, as most of us know. It was founded in 1914, Hiram Percy Maxim and Clarence Tosca, actually. And the league is a business like any other business. They've got a president, a CEO, a board of directors. There's various committees that are present there. And they have a lot of people doing a lot of work for us as hams. You can see here their work in public service. They work in advocacy, education, technology, and of course, membership. So the league is primarily driven through the members, the folks who have decided to join the league. And so if you're not a league member, I highly recommend that you consider joining the league. I don't know of any government organization that cares at all about amateur radio other than the ARRL. And I'm a big supporter of the league for that reason alone, not to mention all the other great things they do for us as hams. So with that, I want to go ahead and jump over to this little search box. If you look up here in the upper right-hand corner, if you're interested in any item that the league provides or anything that they're doing, you can just type anything in this search box. So right now I'm going to type in, if I can type divisions, and we're going to click on this link to the ARRL division. So One thing I want to mention is about how the league structures how they work with us hams at the regional level and the local level. So what they've done is they've broken up the United States. We're just talking about the US here today, folks. They've broken up the United States into what they call 15 divisions. And this is a nice map here. You can see we're over here in the Atlantic Division. And so what I want to do is scroll down and take a look at the Atlantic Division. So in our division, it's further divided up into 7 sections. Each section is headed by a section manager. That's the position I currently hold. So in the Atlantic Division, we have Delaware, Eastern PA, MDC, Northern New York, Western New York, Western Pennsylvania, and Southern New Jersey. And all of these sections are managed, if you will, by 2 people, only 2 people. They are our division director, Bob Familio, K3RF, and our vice director, Marty Pittenger, KB3MXM, who most of you know used to be the section manager before Tom Abernathy, who was the director, stepped down and everybody kind of moved up a slot. So that's what happened to Marty. He's now the vice director for the Atlantic Division. And these 2 individuals, along with managing all the sections in our division, they have a lot of other things they're doing with the league. They sit on various committees in the league. They vote on policies and programs that the league has for us. And so they're very busy all the time. I'm a big chain of command guy. Even though their information is here, I would recommend that you not bother these 2 individuals. If you have a question or a problem that you think you need help with, I would have you go through Alex first. And if Alex has a question or an issue she can certainly contact me. And I have a very good relationship, as I always have, with Marty. He lives right down the street from me. So that's how that would work. All right, so those are the divisions and the section MDC that we all take part of. Okay, now I want to go over here and we're going to click on field organization, and give me 1 second. Okay, so if we break it down a little further into the section, our section, Maryland and the District of Columbia. So as the section manager, I'm responsible to handle everything that kind of happens in the section. And I'm not all by myself. I have a bunch of folks working with me. And you can see those positions. These are section level appointments that we have in the section. And there's all of these folks here. There's an assistant section managers, affiliated club coordinator, that's me. We have district emergency coordinators, ECs. Some of these positions, you may have some folks in your club who hold some of these positions. Net manager, public information coordinators. So the point I want to make here is that all of these folks that are working with us in the section in MDC are available for your benefit. They don't just work with me, they're here for everyone, for all of us in the MDC section. Now, some of these positions are not filled. A lot of them are filled, and I'll go back to the email I sent out to the clubs. I put a little help wanted section in there, and I asked that folks take a look at these appointments on the left-hand side. You can click on any one of these and find out what's involved with doing that appointment. And if you're interested in something, let me know, and we can get you involved at the section level. All right, so any questions on any of that so far? Okay, so let's move over, and I want to talk about some things that the league is doing coming up here. Some things are running right now, and some stuff that's coming up in the near future. So we go up to the search box. I'm going to type in VOTA, and this is our volunteer on the air operating event. So I want to show this real quick. So this year, the league has proclaimed this year the year of the volunteers. And in conjunction with that, they're running a year-long event called Volunteers on the Air. Now, as I said, this is a year-long event. This is similar to what they did in 2014. I'll highlight it here. The centennial celebration. Some of you may have remembered this. And this is the year I remember because I was first licensed in 2014. They each state got activated twice, and people really had a lot of fun doing that. So they kind of patterned this new event off of that 2014 celebration. And each state will be activated twice again. My understanding is that folks will be activated as W1AW, and you can contact, get on the air, contact different individuals. You can contact section staff or people that work for the league and other folks like that for points. And I want to bring up this state activation schedule right here to show you. Can you guys see that okay? Okay. So you can see, let's see if I can blow this up a little better. So you can see here, Maryland is going to be activated in June, the week of June 28th. It's a Wednesday. So it'll be Wednesday through the following Tuesday. And currently, the reason we're highlighted in white here is because we don't have a state coordinator for this event. So if you know of any contesters or anyone who might be interested in being our state coordinator for this event, please let me know. So then we're being activated here. And then if I scroll down, you can see we're being activated again in November. So this should be a really great event. We just need a state coordinator and VOTAs. There's a lot of information on the league website regarding this. You can read all about it by clicking any of these links. All right, let's go over to along the top here, regulatory and advocacy. So many of you are familiar with the bill that we were able to get passed here in Maryland regarding antenna restrictions. I know myself, I live in an HOA community, and so it's an issue for me as well. I want to tell you that the league is currently working on getting that similar type of legislation passed nationwide. And we were able to get a bill passed here in Maryland, but they're spending a lot of resources and time and effort with the folks that interface with at the federal level to get this bill passed for us. So if we click on this link right here, you can see that a bill was introduced to the House, HR 9670. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You can read about this, that you can get a text of the bill. So my point here is just that they are working on getting this type of legislation passed for us. And again, they're spending a lot of time and resources on that. So just know that they're working on that very diligently. You guys mentioned field day, so I want to come up here and whoops, and just kind of scooch into the field day section of the website here. So this year field day is June 24 and 25. Again, there's lots of information. I'm quite sure that your club is going to be participating in that, as Alex has already alluded to. I was at your field day site. I think, was it last year, Alex, when I met you guys, or was it a year or so ago?
Last year.
Last year. Okay. I think you're muted. that's okay. So yeah, had a great time. This is if you're a new ham, I highly recommend you get out to the field day site at least one of the 2 days. One of the things you can do is go to your own club site the first day, and perhaps another field day site that's close by on the second day. A field day is amateur radio's open house. It's the time when folks get out of the house. They bring their equipment out to pavilions or a field, and get on the air and make contacts with other hams. So it's a great event. It happens every year, and it's one of the most exciting events we have all year. All right, and last thing I want to mention is Hamvention. There's a couple other things. So most of you folks who've been around know this as Dayton. This is the annual convention that is held every year, and used to be held in Dayton, Ohio. Of course, they've moved that to the fairgrounds here at Xenia. And this is happening in May. It's coming up very soon. I've not been to this event, but I know many of you have. It's obviously a great event. It's probably the biggest. It is the biggest. Well, maybe the other one in Florida might be bigger than this, maybe not. But it's quite a large convention that they have every year. There's all kinds of booths and displays. The league has a big presence here at Hamvention every year, and it's just a great event. If you can get a hotel room or find a way to get up there, it's in Ohio, not exactly across the street, so it's probably too late to get a hotel, but I don't know. I haven't checked. So that's a great event that happens. So, and then there's one other thing I want to close with. I'm going to go ahead and log in here real quick. So give me a second. I want to show one thing that I would like you to do if you're a league member. Here we are. All right, so here you can see I'm logged in now. If you click on your name up here at the top, it's going to bring up your profile. And on the left-hand side, you'll see all this information. I want you to go down to the communication part of this page and click on this opt-in out field right here. And this is information these are emails basically that the league will send out at different times. And I just want to go through a couple of these real quick. You can see I have them checked, all of them checked. You can check whatever ones you want. Here we have the ARRL e-letter. That's an ARRL information. The board meeting minutes. I'll tell you this, I'm getting a lot of information out of reading the board meeting minutes. It's very dry material. I'll tell you that for sure. But it's very interesting to see the kinds of things they're talking about and voting on and things like that. So if you want to look at that, I find it very interesting myself. The club news is a good one. Legislative update, I would recommend that, ARRL letter. And here's the one I really want you to make sure you've selected, the division and section news. So each month I send out a section news. And if you do not have this checked, you're not going to get that email. It goes to all league members, and this is how you receive that. So I want you to make sure you check that. And then some of this other stuff, notification of membership expiration, license expiration, that kind of stuff is always good to know. Okay, that's pretty much all I have. There's a lot going on at the league, and if you ever have any questions or any issues, please let me know, and we'll be happy to help. Any question? I'm going to stop sharing, and I'll ask if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, this is David. This is not a question, but a compliment. I have to thank the league for setting up at least from where I can tell, is the best WinLink email gateway on the East Coast. I can easily reach it on 5 watts. So you can do QRP WinLink on HF. And the trick is to use 500 hertz. And what's so amazing that the sensitivity is so great that in the 500 hertz bandwidth, you can often get more than twice the speed in bits per second. And once I actually got more than 3 times, and I nearly fell off the chair. So in a 500 hertz bandwidth, I was getting over 1500 hertz bits per second. So thank you for that. So pass that along. Tell them thank you.
Okay, very good. I know WinLink is very popular here in the MDC section. A lot of clubs are using it. I know in the ARRL groups that I'm involved in, we do a regular WinLink training. There's WinLink training that happens every month, and so forth. So there's a lot of stuff going on with WinLink. Absolutely, thank you. Anything else?
I
You
just
know how
wanted
much
to
power
thank,
oh, I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
stepped on, I'm sorry.
No, it's my fault. How much power are they transmitting? Is just a barefoot 100 watts?
That I do not know. I probably could find out for you, sir.
I think it's ultra high gain antennas, big ears. Yeah.
Yep.
So Joe had a question.
Yes, please. Hello, once again, everyone. I was just curious when you were bringing up the presentation about the all those appointments. I was wondering what kind of credentials a person would need to be be eligible for any kind of of um appointment like what you mentioned.
Okay, sure. Great question. The answer is there's two things you need. You need to be a full league member and you need willingness to serve. That's all we ask. Now, I'm being a little cryptic. Depending on the position, as long as you're a full league member and you have expertise in a certain area, I would be happy to bring you in at the section level. For example, I'll give you an example. I just last night appointed an emergency coordinator for St. Mary's County. Now, this gentleman has taken all the FEMA courses. He's done all the ARRL courses. He's worked. He was in the military. He has all kinds of background in the field. So that's the kind of thing that we're looking for. That I'm looking for as section manager. And but there are positions that require a lot less credentialing, other than being a league member, such as a net manager. That's where I started. I was the net manager for our local traffic net. So depending on the position, but just to get your foot in the door, if you're a league member and you have your willingness to serve, I'm all ears. I'm ready to help you.
I appreciate the answer. Thank you.
Okay, great question.
Fred?
Yeah, thanks. And actually, the question that Joe just asked, I just sort of mentioned too that there are individual station appointments like official emergency station, official relay station, and those are based on certain activities that you document, and when you meet the thresholds, I guess you can apply for those positions as well, or those appointments as an individual station. Is that still
Right.
true?
Yes. The station appointments are, as you mentioned, official relay station. I hold that. I work a lot with the national traffic system. And so in my work doing that with those folks, I was able to achieve that. Official emergency station, that's another thing where you would have certain credentials and ARRL type functions that you would have that would allow you to get that designation. And again, if you go to the website, you can click on any one of those without logging in and see exactly what the credentials are for any of those station appointments. But those are also things that I do as section manager, make those appointments, not only the section appointments, but the station appointments. So yeah, good question.
Yeah, and actually the real question I was going to ask is, you mentioned about the law in Maryland with regard to restrictive covenants. I remember that had been talked about, but wasn't quite aware that it actually had passed. So maybe you could just sort of mention what the status is and what that really covered.
Yes, it passed. In fact, it passed, I guess last year. It took effect in last October of last year. And my understanding is that it gives us the ability to let's see, how am I going to say this? And the HOA folks, in other words, they have to make what's called a reasonable accommodation for us in order for us to put up an antenna. I'll give you an example. In my HOA, I wrote them an email and I said, I'd like to put up an antenna. What are the restrictions? They said, well, it has to be in the back of the house and it can't come above the roof line. Okay. Probably not real helpful if I'm trying to get on 80 meters, but it's a reasonable accommodation. So my understanding is that they can't just say, no, you can't put up an antenna. They have to at least work with us in order to provide a reasonable accommodation. That's my understanding. And there's a lot more to this. I have a gentleman, Dave Williams, who works with us, who's the state government liaison, and he could talk for an hours about this. So I would probably defer to him, but that's my current understanding.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm interested, A, as a hand that lives in a HOA restricted development. B, I'm also on the board of our HOA, and I know that our covenants specifically restrict any type of outdoor antenna, but obviously the FCC already preempted the satellite and broadcast TV things, and I guess that's the part that they're trying to get past now at a federal level to get the FCC to preempt all those other things as well. So
I believe so. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
all right,
they're spending a lot of resources on that. Absolutely.
thanks.
Okay, great. Jeff?
Hi, thanks. I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to throw your experience and your willingness to serve and your dedication to all the efforts at the league, and then for joining us this evening and sharing with us what's going on. Thank you so much for your time. Really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure. It's always a pleasure chatting with Alex and this group. I've been a part of several of your meetings, and I hope to get out to your field day site this year and chat some more and meet some of the new folks. So I'm here. Anybody needs any help, I'm here. My email address and phone number are all over the ARRL website. It's in the section news, and yeah, anything I can do to help you guys. I'm also the affiliated club coordinator, which I know you guys are a special service club, so thank you for that. So yeah, my pleasure.
Well, it's our pleasure to have you here with us and for all that you do. You have so much, I mean, you just give so much, so thank you.
Quite welcome.
Big hand. All right, let me stop here. Okay.